They broke into my home, shattered everything I thought I was, and yet, the scariest part wasn't what they did. It was what I felt. If that sentence unsettles you, good. Because this story was never meant to make you comfortable. You're about to hear a story I've never told anyone, not even my husband. And when I finish, you'll understand why. My name is James. Richie, my husband, departed for a business trip that evening, leaving us at home. Indeed, that night lingers in my memory. Armed men launched an attack on us. I was physically overpowered by two of them. It was traumatic, confusing, and left me emotionally shattered. My body froze, and my mind struggled to make sense of what was happening. That moment marked a turning point that would change everything in my life forever. My sons, Liam and Nathan, were unaware of the full extent of my distress, but noticed that something was deeply wrong. It is not solely my responsibility. Richie must bear the responsibility for this situation. He struggled to excel in the bedroom. This, indeed, was the act that led to the unraveling of my marriage. Greetings once again, dear viewers, to my channel. If you're just joining us, be sure to subscribe and enable notifications. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to all my returning subscribers for your unwavering support in watching my videos. In the vibrant halls of college, Richie and I crossed paths, two driven souls pursuing business degrees, each fueled by an insatiable desire for success. He possessed a serene assurance, as if nothing in the world could unsettle him. I possessed the ambition, the flame. United, we formed an indomitable duo. We completed our studies, exchanged vows, and began our ascent in the bustling business landscape of Washington. All was in a whirlwind of motion. We forged our careers and our reputation in tandem, each step harmoniously aligned, akin to a finely tuned mechanism. We purchased a residence in a serene yet prosperous enclave of D.C., where the homes were adorned with hedges and neighbors greeted one another with a familiar wave. We were blessed with two wonderful boys, Liam and Nathan, and to the outside world, we epitomized the American dream, intelligent, polished, and graceful. For a time, I held that belief as well. Yet, there exists a truth that remains unspoken regarding the pursuit of an ideal existence. At times, one finds themselves enveloped within it. Richie was the kind of person who maintained the formality of his suit and Athanet, even within the confines of his own home. His labor was a constant companion, never truly ceasing. I grasped it, for I too have walked that path in the past. Yet, at some point in our journey, the flame that once burned brightly between us began to fade. We engaged in discussions about business, the children, and current events, yet we neglected to delve into our own lives. Not profoundly, not in an intimate manner. We shared a bed, indeed, yet there were countless nights when I felt like a specter lying beside him. He no longer caressed me as he once did. Initially, I considered the possibility that it might be stress. Then I began to think it was me, that perhaps I had transformed, that maybe I was no longer desirable. I acquired some new lingerie. I let the tints fall away. I exhausted all possibilities. Yet his gaze never tarried. His hands remained out of reach. The pain ran deeper than I was willing to confess. My affection for him remained unwavering. I genuinely did. He exhibited loyalty in his unique manner, demonstrating dedication and focus, embodying the qualities of a good father. Yet, affection devoid of fervor resembles a tune lacking its harmonious essence. It resonates within your mind, yet fails to awaken your spirit. I grew accustomed to the quietude. I adorned myself for client meetings, not for his gaze. I styled my hair and applied some perfume, yet it was not intended for anyone specific. Merely for my own reflection, a reminder of my enduring identity as a woman. Someone who has experienced the profound essence of being desired, embraced, and acknowledged. Liam, our eldest, possessed Richie's intellect. Perpetually inquisitive, perpetually probing. Nathan, the younger of the two, captured my heart entirely. Gentle, quiet in expression, they anchored me firmly to reality. They imbued every moment with a sense of purpose. Yet, Beneath the surface, there lingered a subtle yearning that eluded my grasp. A yearning that lingered on, regardless of the countless smiles I donned or the tasks I meticulously ticked off. Yet the notion of betrayal never crossed my mind. Neither from me nor from him. I was nurtured to embody strength, pride, and loyalty. I approached my vows with the utmost seriousness. Though the flames had dimmed, I remained steadfast. Up until that fateful night, I lived in that quiet sadness for so long that I mistook it for peace. But peace does not knock at your door at 9 p.m. on a rainy Wednesday. Chaos does. I did not seek out the events that unfolded. I never requested it. Yet, when it arrived, it shattered something within me, a fragment I had sealed away long ago. And when it finally opened, everything changed forever. The sky hung heavy with gray, a familiar sight for Washington during the season. Moisture-laden air swirls, while leaves dance across the driveway. Richie was scheduled for an early flight to Chicago. He traveled with minimal belongings, as was his custom. His suits were impeccably pressed. His cologne lingered, subtle yet unmistakably known. Our breakfast was marked by a sparse exchange of words. "Remember, Liam's science project is due this Friday." I brought it to his attention. He inclined his head in agreement. "I shall return on Thursday evening. This journey promises to be a straightforward one." He pressed a swift, chilly kiss to my cheek, a fleeting farewell. No quotas. Without hesitation. Similar to a businessman concluding his stay at a hotel. I observed him as he exited the driveway, disappearing into the flow of vehicles. There was an absence of feeling. The remainder of the day unfolded at a languid pace. I assisted Liam with his homework. The kitchen has been tidied up. Neatly arranged garments. Nathan illustrated superheroes in his sketch pad. The boys finished their dinner, took their showers, and by 9 o'clock, they were settled upstairs, engrossed in cartoons. Silence enveloped the house. It was then that I heard it, the unmistakable knock at the door. It lacked tenderness. It surged with speed, intensity, and a pressing necessity. 3 knocks. Then there was silence. I scowled, cleaned my hands, and made my way to the entrance. I cautiously glanced through the side window. 5 individuals. Veils. Handwear. Firearms. My breath hitched in my throat. In an instant, the door burst open, sending splinters scattering and wood splintering under the force. I let out a piercing scream. One of them yelled, "Get down. Where is the money?" Another sent me sprawling to the ground. The edge of the table met my head with an unforgiving thud. All things whirled in a dizzying dance. I called out to the boys, instructing them to remain upstairs, secured the door, and urged them not to budge. The men surged through the house, their presence a whirlwind of chaos. Drawers overturned. Cabinets burst open with a cacophony. Amidst the shadows cast by the staircase, one of them stumbled upon the hidden safe. I provided them with the code. What other options might be available to me? Fear gripped me. Not for myself, but for my children. Then arrived the instant that remains shrouded in mystery for me. 2 of them remained in the living room with me. One lingered by the threshold. One gaze lingered upon me. "Do you have a husband?" he inquired, his voice barely discernible through the mask. "Indeed," I affirmed. He scrutinized me with a deliberate and daring gaze. "I wager he doesn't treat you well." I remained silent. He then knelt beside me, his hand gently resting on my shoulder. I recoiled slightly, yet remained steadfast, unwilling to retreat. His hand glided down my arm, probing for a response. The fear within me contorted, evolving into something unfamiliar. Then the other one stepped closer. I noticed their eyes watching me intently, filled with something I couldn't quite interpret. They reached toward me. I wanted to scream again, my throat tightening with fear. I should have. Yet fear paralyzed me. A part of me went numb. This isn't something I take lightly. I don't claim it was acceptable. I was in shock, unable to respond clearly. Their grip was aggressive, and though I was frozen in place, my mind tried to detach from what was happening. I felt like I had left my body. Confusion surged where fear and shame had no room left to hide. As I looked into his eyes behind the mask, I realized this wasn't about money. This was about power, and I had none. My thoughts raced wildly. For so long, I had felt invisible, and now, in the worst way imaginable, I had become the center of something violent and overwhelming. As the final moments faded, they departed with the same abruptness that had marked their arrival. The dwelling lay in disarray. The fabric of my robe lay in tatters. My legs quaked beneath me as I stood. The boys remained upstairs, not making their way down. They remained oblivious to everything around them. I made my way to the bathroom, secured the door behind me, and gazed at my reflection in the mirror. In the mirror, I searched for a victim, but found only a woman who couldn't decide if she was broken or finally awake. I failed to observe a victim. A woman caught my eye. A woman who yearned for something, anything, to awaken her spirit once more. Thus commenced the twilight of all that had been. Richie never knew what happened that night, but something in me broke, and I stopped waiting for him to fix it. And if you think this night ended the story, you'd be
wrong.
What happened 3 days later changed everything again.